Hey there, YouTube. Today I'm going to go ahead and finally jump on the reviews that I've been waiting to do, and this is also going to serve as my entry into Sandel Pipe's 400 subscribers contest. The review I'm going to do today, I'm going to do it a little bit different than some of the ones I've seen. I'm going to try and cut it up into 3 parts, and I'm going to be reviewing a tobacco I've never smoked before. My choice for tobacco was Seattle Pipe Club's Seattle Evening. I've had both Mississippi River and plum pudding, and I wanted to go ahead and pick something that I hadn't yet smoked. So what I'm going to do is, in the first part of the video, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the presentation of the tobacco, what it looks like, what it has in it, my expectations, and my first impressions of the first bowl. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to smoke another couple bowls in between, probably be a couple days apart. Second part will be the characteristics of the tobacco, what I taste, what I'm starting to notice about it, and comparing it to some other tobaccos. And the third part will be consistency, the quality, and the final rating. So is the smoke consistent? You know, am I getting the same flavors in every bowl? Is there a difference, you know, be from bowl to bowl, from pipe to pipe? The quality, what I think of it. Is it a great tobacco or not? And then my final rating, which I'll give to you on a scale of 1 to 10, so you'll know what I think of it. So hold tight. I'll be back for the first part of the video with the first bowl of Seattle Evening. See you in a minute. Back again, guys. And here we go with part 1 of the review I'm doing on Seattle Evening. And when I first looked up this particular tobacco, now that I've tried all the Seattle Pipe Club blends, when I first looked up plum pudding and Seattle Evening, the first thing I thought was, I'm dealing with aromatic tobaccos, and I don't do aromatic tobaccos. After reading it, I found it's actually, like it says here, an English Oriental blend. And in this first part, I'm going to go over my expectations, the impressions of the first bowl, and the presentation of it. So let's go ahead and pop it in. Brand new tin. Wow. You know, it's very, very sweet smelling. The Orientals are extremely fragrant. And you can really smell a little bit of that the turkish in there. And the latakia is there, very light and in the background. And as you can see, it's a very nice mix of you know, some lighter browns, dark brown, some much darker ones, and we're gonna go ahead and fill up the little Missouri Meerschaum. My expectations for this were initially that it was an aromatic pipe tobacco, which it is not, and I was expecting it to taste somewhat similar to Mississippi River and plum pudding. The Mississippi River and plum pudding remind me of each other. Just one seems to be lighter than the other. This, after opening the tin, I think they're going to smell, well, they smell nothing alike, so I think they're going to taste nothing alike. It's going to be, I think this is going to be an overall very sweet blend, and very fragrant, which is great. And with the latakia, I think it's going to add just the right amount of spice. I'm expecting something similar to, like, reminding me of, you know, cooking on the campfire or something like that. So let's go ahead and light it up and give it a taste. And I chose to use the little pipe because I thought, first bowl ever, start with a smaller one, see what it's like. In the second part of the review, when we start talking about some of the other things, the characteristics, and comparing them to other ones, I'll go with a little bit bigger pipe. It's exactly like I thought it would be. The spice from the latakia is a beautiful background note. It almost reminds me a little bit of, like, drinking a latte. There's a good mix of flavors. There's a little bit of cocoa, a little bit of coffee in the background. The latakia is definitely not overpowering. It's just a nice, kind of like a punctuation mark. And the Oriental is very, very fragrant. I understand this is stoved red Virginias, and I think you can definitely taste that there. It's very sweet up front, and there's a little bit of smokiness in the background. The room note is overall pleasing. The flavor is fairly deep for this tobacco. Now, I've never had anything with the broken, they call it BTR, a broken Turkish ribbon. I've never had anything with that in it before. And I have to assume that it's contributing to the overall sweetness of the blend. And the smoke is fairly, pardon me, fairly creamy. Very, very nice. It's got a very subtle taste. It's not overpowering. Like I said, the latakia kind of hides in the background, but adds just a little bit of spice. So if I had to say it reminded me of anything, it would definitely be something cooked on a campfire, or like something. This would be a good blend for me for cold weather. Something like around Christmas time, where it's cold outside and there's a big meal cooking, something like that. I think this would go perfectly with that. Yeah, it's very sweet, very sweet. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be back in part 2, and we'll start discussing a little bit more of the characteristics of the tobacco and comparing it to some other blends that I've smoked. Sit tight, we'll be right back. Hey there, YouTube. David again, back with part 2 of the review here, and I'm smoking the Dr. Greybough Freehand, and of course the Seattle Pipe Club Seattle Evening. Now, in this part of the review, I want to discuss more of the characteristics and characteristics of the tobacco, and compare it to some other blends. Now, I've been smoking this. I'm about halfway down the bowl. Now, I tell you, on first light, I let this one dry a little bit more than the first bowl, which I took straight out of the tin. I let it dry for about 10 minutes, spread it out on a piece of paper, and now it's sufficiently dry and is much more fragrant like this. I have to tell you that the scent is very, very sweet, and letting it sit out was almost like incense in the room, and it made the whole room smell very pleasant. And actually, this is one of those few tobaccos where while I'm smoking it, I can actually get the essence of the room note. The flavor, you can tell that there's latakia there, but you can, to me, it is not a forward flavor. You cannot taste it as much. The Orientals are very gentle, and I guess they're mellowed a bit more by these red Virginias. And the Turkish ribbon is absolutely fantastic. The whole bowl is about as flavorful as you can get. This is about the 4th or 5th bowl now that I'm having of this tobacco, and it is, I can understand why when it was created, and according to the Seattle Pipe Club, it was created in 2008 for their annual dinner, and everybody smoked every last bit of it. Whatever they didn't smoke, they took home and they kept in their stash. And I have to say, I can see exactly why. It doesn't burn hot. It doesn't ever taste harsh. You know, I puffed on it, and I couldn't get it to taste harsh. And no tongue bite. absolutely perfect flavor. The only other tobacco I've tasted that had even a hint of the flavor that I'm getting here is Frogmorton on the Town, and that was because of it is an Oriental type blend. I think the difference here is that there's more Oriental in this blend, and it's perfectly balanced. I could definitely smoke this all day. This is perfect for me, as I said before, for cold weather or around the holiday time or after a good meal. This would be perfect. Anytime there'd be bad weather, a rainy day, I could see why the Seattle guys like this so much. I do get hints of little floral hits here and there, a little bit of chocolate, a lot of creaminess, honey, and overall great sweetness. And like I said, sitting out, it reminds me of incense, which is wonderful. So far, I'm really, really enjoying this blend. I think overall this is probably one of the best blends I've tried so far. If it was going to be against going with an Oriental type blend, an English Oriental, this would probably be my favorite. And I have to say that the flavors never disappoint. Like I said, even when I'm when I'm puffing on it really hard, I'm still getting the same flavor. It's not burning my tongue, and it just overall, you can't really get tired of it. The nuances kind of change as you go, depending on how you pack the bowl, how long you let it sit out, and I think this one's best when you dry it out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and keep smoking this bowl. And for comparison type, like I said, the only one that I've had, Frogmorton on the Town, is the closest that I've come to something like this flavor-wise, but this is much sweeter and a lot creamier, and overall a more delicate type smoke, and I think this would be, in competition, one versus the other, this would definitely take the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. You guys hold tight, I'll be back in just a second with part 3. How's it going, YouTube? I'm back here again for the third part of my review on Seattle Pipe Club's Seattle Evening. I currently have some drying here on my trusty sheet of paper at work, and I will be smoking it when it is finished in my Sandal pipe. As far as this series of videos has gone, these 3 separate videos discussing this tobacco, I've been smoking quite a bit of it to kind of get the best feeling for it, and at this point I've almost smoked the entire tin, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with it. I would most definitely buy another tin of it, and it has been a very, very consistent smoke. To kind of put a little addition onto part 2 about characteristics, as I started to dry it out a little bit more, because I did try, not only did I try it in the different pipes that I use for English, so 2 different Missouri Meerschaum oaks, the Dr. Graybow, and then of course the Sandal pipe, which I've had a few bowls in. I found that in that different levels of moisture made a difference in the flavor, and I tend to like my tobacco much drier than most. And when I dried it out, I started to get hints, big hits of vanilla and like a deep cocoa flavor. And it was just 10 times more fragrant and a much milder and pleasing smoke. And overall, it is very excellent, I will say that. Consistency from bowl to bowl is it is fairly consistent, I would say. You get a lot of the same flavors, and it's definitely a pleasing smoke. I do find, as I said, that with drying it out a little bit more, that the flavor profile changes a little bit, and the drier it is, the more hints of vanilla you get, and the more almost aromatic it became. You know, at one point, I forgot that it was supposed to be an English Oriental blend and not an aromatic. And this would be, in the course of the couple of aromatics that I tried very early on, if this held its flavor the entire bowl, which I'd never experienced before. And I'm talking, I had that vanilla taste the entire time. So from top to bottom, the flavor didn't change too much. I've got, in the beginning, it was a little bit more spice as I was lighting. As I got further down the bowl, it became stronger and stronger vanilla. And then it stayed very consistent throughout. And I was getting a lot of the same hits. Even when it was a little more moist, I could still taste that vanilla in the background. It wasn't quite as strong, still very, fairly spicy at the beginning, and then kind of mellowing out a little bit and just becoming an overall pleasant smoke and just delightfully big plumes of smoke on top of that. This was not hard to keep lit. I would use maybe one match, and then with a couple of light tamps here and there, I could smoke from top to bottom, on one, maybe two matches. So very good. The quality of tobacco, I would say, is absolutely fantastic. It seems like the guys at Seattle Pipe Club use some really high quality leaf, and for good reason too. I mean, they have a great reputation to uphold. I've been pleased with everything, all three blends so far. I mean, I think out of all of them, I definitely enjoy Plum Pudding the most, but Seattle Evening is definitely worth a smoke, and if you don't have a tin, I would suggest getting one. I mean, it's you can really taste each separate tobacco in each one, and the surprising thing with Seattle, Seattle Evening was the introduction of that little bit. It seems like that broken Turkish ribbon was just the perfect topper to kind of add that little extra something to it. So I was very, very pleased with it, and very, very high quality tobacco, just like everything else that Seattle Pipe Club offers. And I believe, as I think I mentioned before, that it is blended by McClellan for pipes and cigars. And everybody knows McClellan is known for high quality tobaccos. I mean, look at the Frog Morton line, the Black Label stuff. All their tobaccos are impressive, and this is no exception. My final rating on this tobacco, if we were going to do on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it is a solid 7 and will never dip below. And when you find the right pipe and moisture combination, it can jump all the way up to a 9. Definitely worthwhile smoke, and I can see exactly why, as the legend goes, or I should say as the story goes, that everybody snatched up every last bit of this tobacco, because it is definitely worth a smoke. Overall, I think I would definitely recommend this to people who are looking to try a little bit of English, and then at the same time looking to taste something that is reminiscent of aromatic. This one kind of bridges the gap for me between the two. I don't like aromatics anymore just because the casing, I can taste that difference. There's just something unusual about the flavor that I don't prefer. But this one, as I said, I could have mistaken it for an aromatic because it was just, the flavor was just so perfect the entire way down, and it held flavor throughout the entire bowl. So if you're looking for something tasty that would be good for pleasant to the nose of other people around you, something like a social tobacco with non-pipe smokers, this would be an excellent choice, and it'll also give you a lot of flavor to enjoy yourself. So if you haven't tried the Seattle Pipe Club Seattle Evening, go ahead and get yourself a tin. I haven't seen it on pipes and cigars in bulk. It says that they carry all three, but normally I only see Mississippi River and Plum Pudding. So go ahead and grab yourself a tin, give it a try, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So hope you enjoyed the review. I'm looking forward to doing a few more, and I'll probably do it in the same format. And if you stuck around to the end, sorry about the terrible editing, but I'm not much of a movie maker. Plumbers don't make movies. So I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Enjoy the review. Shoot me a message if you have any questions, and get yourself a tin. Try it out for yourself. We'll catch you next time.